Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at the Metal Investment Forum. I think I've met most of you in the room, but for those of you who are new to us, I'll give you guys a quick overview. Exploring a major gold exploration portfolio. I think two words there being gold exploration haven't been favorable in the last 6 months, but you have to think today when you leave here that that's an opportunity. You know, you're looking at us at our lowest point we've been in the last 2 years, and we've had some really great things happening for us. Auryn was formed on the back of some great successes, as Eric pointed out to. We've had success in finding gold deposits and selling companies. We took that success and we leveraged ourselves to build one of the deepest exploration technical teams in the business. We created a 7-project portfolio, which really mitigates risk and gives us a lot of optionality in terms of selling some assets and chasing the big one and others. This portfolio and this technical team has garnered the interest from Goldcorp. Goldcorp owns 12.5%, which they bought last January for $35 million. Goldcorp didn't invest into us to help us build mines. They invested into us so that we could find mines and they could buy them from us or by us. So an end game's already baked into our share structure with a great shareholder like Goldcorp. The optionality, there's 2 types of optionality. Work on expensive projects in good markets, work on cheaper projects in bad markets. But 2 of our projects are actually near-term value, meaning they're on the edge of development studies and they could potentially be sold, which could create a self-financing mechanism that might carry us for 2 or 3 years without having to raise any serious money. And lastly, the substantial growth upside, large land positions, as Eric pointed out, 420 kilometers of greenstone belts in northern Canada, where some of the largest gold mines are being found in the world. That's our first foray into this company where we've done the most work, and then over 100,000 hectares in Peru, and as you'll see today with some really highly prospective ground. For the sake of time, I'm not going to belabor this management side, except for there's a bunch of, a wide range of disciplines, a lot of balance here, but we've raised $500 million for exploration companies since 2005. We've created a producing gold company and we've sold an exploration asset, and this time we're doing what we can do better than we've done in those 2 companies, and we think our market timing for discovery is going to be way better. This is just showing you how our stocks in our previous 2 companies performed during discovery. Obviously some incredible returns. This is what gets us out of bed. We are discovery focused, but the caliber of what we're looking for would dwarf either one of these assets dramatically. So size has gone up and the team has gotten a lot stronger. It's not an easy road to discovery, but when we get there, I think these are the kind of returns we might be able to potentially deliver to shareholders. Here's our share structure page. Outside of having 78 million shares, management owns 18.5, Goldcorp owns 12.5. All long-term gold funds make up our institutional shareholdings. I've circled the low point of our stock, and I said it before, in the last 2.5 years, this is the lowest point we've traded at in terms of evaluation. We're at about 100 million US or 135 Canadian. What I will say on the past 12 months is things are much better now today in terms of possibility of a major discovery, of understanding Committee Bay in the north, of getting Peru online than they were a year ago when Goldcorp made the investment. But we're trading at a half price to where they bought into. So real big opportunity there. We're well covered, and our treasury is small, but you'll see that get topped up here in the near future. The only surprise there will be that it's a lot smaller raise that we're looking to do than the market's anticipating. It'll be all long-term gold funds, and there'll be no warrants. So there's no benefit waiting for a financing that would be hard to buy into. This is the technical team. I won't belabor each person on this slide, but you're looking at Newmont's former global exploration team, including their former global chief geologist being Antonio Arribas. These gentlemen come from majors, but they come from the part of majors that found several major multi-million ounce discoveries around the globe. They all have different disciplines. That's efficiency, and then the quality of work that they do will give us a premium on anything we find. Again, why Goldcorp invested in, they're trusting the quality of the work of a major within a junior. Here's our portfolio. We designed it with high-grade projects in the north and oxide projects in the south. Those are the 2 most profitable types of gold discoveries you can find. Committee Bay and Gibson-McCoy, that's over 420 kilometers of greenstone belts. In Committee Bay, there's an actual resource. It's about 1.2 million ounces of 7.5 grams per ton or better. About 60 historical gold discoveries on Committee Bay. We've narrowed it down to 7 targets. I'll talk a little bit in a moment about how this year has the highest probability of what we've seen so far and what the big key was towards it. Homestake Ridge in BC is a 1.2 million ounces of 7.5 grams per ton. You'd be producing a concentrate. We're amidst the PEA, so later this year you'll see a PEA study, but the value that we're seeing out of this project, the low capex, A 6-kilometer road is getting permitted to put into it for full infrastructure. It's a tremendous near-term value opportunity for Auryn shareholders. Peru, 4 projects. The one I'm going to talk most about today is Sombrero. We've done some drilling on Huillacoyo. Results are pending. Huillacoyo does get bigger, but Sombrero is going to steal the show here shortly as we're about to get community access to it. Nunavut, Canada, we're in between Agnico Eagle's discoveries and mines, Amaruq, Meadowbank, and Meliadine. There's 1.2 billion being spent as of last year in these areas. If you listen to Agnico Eagle, Sean Boyd's recent comments, that's where their major focus is for growth. They made the largest gold discovery since the last bull market, that being Amaruq, being a 6 million ounces of about 6 grams per ton or better discovery in the world. And that's the neighborhood we're in, and that's the kind of discoveries we're chasing. If you look at Committee Bay, yes, there's a deposit in the middle of it. We drilled a hole last year at Ivik. That hole is a lot more meaningful than the market has given attention. You'll see a lot of news on Committee Bay from us, from all the science that we figured out from last season before we go drilling this summer. Gibson McCoy is spectacular. It's 70 kilometers west of Meliadine. There's a huge bend in a greenstone belt, gold right on the flexure of the belt. Where rocks bend, they actually fracture, they don't bend. That's where fluids come up. Right where we'd expect to find a major gold anomaly on surface we have. This would be drill ready for next year. So Peru, the story here is endowment. Endowment is really important because we're chasing big things. Everything in Peru is really good except for communities take time. Communities can take up to 1.5 years before you get access. The good news about us is we're at the end of the 1.5 years on Sombrero, and we're almost there on Baños del Indio. Pretty soon we'll have full access to all our projects in Peru. Huillacoyo, we've done some drilling around those green dots there. That's about 250,000 ounces of half-gram rock. It's about 15 kilometers from a neighboring mine, which is producing 100,000 ounces a year at $3.13 cash cost per ounce. They're mining half a gram rock. They're almost out of ore. I think they have 2 more years or 3 more years of solid production on their leach pad. Then they're going to need to replenish. We're drilling right next to a producing mine that needs more oxide ounces, and I believe there's a tow milling road that's been permitted right to our project. So a real big opportunity here to have some other near-term value. This is the story. This is something that's going to come alive in April when we go back and do surface work at Sombrero. So we're 200 kilometers west of a mine called Las Bambas that was bought for 5.8 billion. We've got some high tension power lines on the left there that the government just fortuitously put on the edge of our property, and there's a highway right to this property. So incredible infrastructure. Everything here will be extremely profitable if it does fall into a mining scenario. As you can see, there's a little bit of an erosional window. This is how this was discovered. They got some good numbers. 2 grams gold, 4% copper, almost 6 grams gold, 9% copper. This is the work we did on a small part of our claims. We trenched 53 meters of almost 2 grams oxide. We trenched in the same trench another 37 meters of a gram oxide and 11 of 0.7. That's a 100-meter trench of a gram or better. I just showed you a company that's mining half a gram at $3.13 cash cost per ounce oxide. In this environment, there's copper as well. It's a gold skarn and copper porphyry targets. You're getting 0.5% to 3.5% copper. You're getting 0.5% to 16% copper in several multi-gram gold samples in the 3 to 7.5 gram range. This is the most spectacular surface expression of mineralization we have seen as a team, both technically and corporately in our careers. This is the district we've assembled around it. Now you're looking in yellow is our original property. We've acquired the land in blue and recently the land in pink. The really cool colors you see to the north, these are stream sediment samples, meaning the drainage is off rocks. In red and pink are the high-grade values of gold. We took one sample up there in a breccia that was in a volcanic tuff that wasn't supposed to run mineralization. It ran half a gram gold, 285 silver, and nearly 1.4% copper. So this is 40 kilometers of strike length. It's a 55,000 hectare land position. This is what some of the rocks look like. This is a very fortuitous valley that is right on the edge of our mineralization. You get a free cross section into what you might be standing on top of with all those high grades I just shown you. It's spectacular in terms of size. Homestake Ridge is in BC. I won't go through too much detail. I've talked about it enough. It's got 1.2 million ounces, 7.5 grams, great infrastructure. We're working on a PEA and a lot of blue sky on the South Reef target. So the main catalyst for us this year are going to be to bring Sombrero online. You're going to see a lot of surface work, a lot of multi-percent copper, multi-gram gold as we shape that for drilling in Q4. You're going to see us go back to Committee Bay in July of this year, where we're going to have secondary discovery drilling underneath our big hit last year, and we're going to refine several more targets between now and then, so you guys will get a good chance to see what's coming. The near-term value opportunities would be Homestake Ridge and Wiakoyo that could possibly be sold. There's a lot of interested parties, but obviously we'd want the right price. So now I'm out of time. I'll leave you with one comment here. The projects are big. There's two types of mines that you can find. Mines that make you money and mines that make you rich. We have 4 projects in our portfolio that could make us rich as investors, and that's Committee Bay and that's Peru as well. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.